Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice is here, and it's packed with a ton of stuff you might have missed. Here are the 10 coolest Easter eggs, references, and trivia from the movie. There are some nods to two of Batman's biggest villains. First, the Joker gets a really obvious reference when Bruce says to Clark,
"Maybe it's the Gotham City in me. We just have a bad history with freaks dressed like clowns."
You know that costume with graffiti on it in the Batcave? It reads, "Haha, joke's on you, Batman." And if we're going by the comics, then that suit belongs to Robin, aka Jason Todd, who was murdered by the Joker in the story A Death in the Family. There's a more subtle Joker reference when Batman is at the Gotham docks. He's hidden in a warehouse that bears the name Nicholson Trading Company, which has to be a reference to Jack Nicholson, who played the Joker in the 1989 Batman movie.
Wait till they get a load of me.
Finally, when Batman is planting the kryptonite spear, we see a question mark graffitied on a pillar, the signature mark of the Riddler. At the beginning, the photographer accompanying Lois Lane, who is really an undercover CIA agent, is none other than Jimmy Olsen, Superman's best pal. We've actually seen actor Michael Cassidy before in Smallville, where he played a clone of Lex Luthor's brother that also got shot to death. Luthor's tattooed henchman is named Anatoly Knyazev, who we know in the comics as the KG Beast, a Batman villain who works as an assassin for, you guessed it, the KGB. Part of the Doomsday fight takes place on Stryker's Island, which they say is abandoned. In the comics, Stryker's Island is a metropolis prison that holds some of Superman's most dangerous foes. During an argument between Perry White and Clark, Perry says it's not 1938 anymore. 1938 is the year Action Comics #1 was published, which featured the first appearance of Superman. Doomsday kills Superman in the movie, and he's the same villain that killed Superman in the aptly titled comic The Death of Superman, where Superman and Doomsday beat each other to death in the heart of Metropolis. Also, when we see Superman's coffin with the silver S on top, that's a nod to when Superman came back to life in Reign of the Superman and wore a black costume with a silver S on it. That dirt floating off the coffin uses the same effect as when Superman takes off, implying that Superman is still alive. In the comics, it turns out he didn't actually die, but was in a special Kryptonian healing sleep. Yeah, sure. Hope that still works when you've been stabbed through the chest. The movie has no shortage of religious analogs, constantly showing Superman looking all Jesus-y and Luthor making comparisons to Superman and the devil. One you might have missed is the image inside the Wayne family crypt. It's an image of St. Michael vanquishing Satan, which features an angel in red and blue garb, the same colors Superman wears. Yes, I know his costume is dark, so you'll just have to take my word for it. When Luthor is locked up in prison, you can see his prison number, 16TK421, on his jumpsuit. This is a reference to a line in Star Wars A New Hope, when Luke and Han take on stormtrooper disguises and an officer asks,
"TK421, why aren't you at your post?"
Batman v Superman and The Force Awakens had a friendly social media rivalry during production. During Batman's nightmare, he sees three things that scream Darkseid, an evil god not unlike Marvel's Thanos, who has his sights set on Earth, who we are pretty sure will be the villain of the Justice League movie. The Omega shape carved into the land is his symbol. The giant pillars of flame are the same fire pits we see on Darkseid's planet, Apokolips, and the winged creatures are his army of parademons. Also, at the end of the movie, Luthor begins madly ranting that a bell has been rung that is calling someone really bad to Earth. Everything points to him talking about the inevitable arrival of Darkseid. He even makes a ding 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 noise, which sounds an awful lot like the ping 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 noise that mother boxes make. More on those in our next point. We get some big setup for three other iconic heroes of the Justice League. Cyborg essentially gets his origin shown as a mother box activates and replaces his lost body parts with mechanical limbs. Mother boxes are another thing associated with Darkseid. They're intelligent devices that New Gods carry around to open boom tubes to teleport from place to place. In the New 52, Cyborg bonds with one so he has the ability to teleport, not to mention control the whole boom tube network to stop Darkseid from invading. You may know Cyborg from the Teen Titans, but the New 52 re-envisioned him as a founding member of the Justice League, and he'll be in the Justice League movie as well as his own solo movie in 2020. Also shown was Aquaman, another founding member of the Justice League who will be in that movie and get his own movie in 2018. The Flash also gets a little YouTube clip showing him stopping a robbery with his super speed. He'll be in the Justice League movie too and get his solo flick in 2018. Yes, there's already a Flash TV show with Grant Gustin playing the role, but the movie Flash will be played by Ezra Miller and have nothing to do with the show. The Flash also popped up just after Batman's vision. Jeff Johns said that Flash's movie will feature the character's ability to time travel, so what we think we're seeing here is the Flash opening up a portal in time to send Batman a message. He had on a full armored costume, not to mention some scruff, which reinforces that he's from the future. It's hard to make out exactly what he says, but you can hear him tell Batman, "You were right about him," probably referring to Superman, and Lois is the key, which was supposed to be cryptic, and it worked. There's a comic called Crisis on Infinite Earths where the Flash appears to various heroes in the past to warn them about what's coming, so that's got to be what we saw in the movie. It's no secret that this movie was heavily influenced by The Dark Knight Returns by Frank Miller. Batman's suit is lifted right from the comic, and so is his suit of armor. Same with the shot of the pearls when his parents were killed. Starting the fight against Superman with sonic weapons and kryptonite gas, Batman shooting a rifle for utility purposes, Superman lifting a giant metal object in an impressive show of strength, Superman getting caught in a nuclear blast and turning all Skeletor and recharging in the sun, Batman bursting through a wall to grab a bad guy, and Batman's "Believe me, I'll kill her, I believe you" exchange. There's an homage to the cover of The Dark Knight Returns #1 during the Doomsday battle when Batman swings away as lightning strikes in the background. A few lines were taken directly from the book, Alfred's "The next generation of Waynes facing an empty wine cellar," and Batman's "It's time you learned what it means to be a man." At the beginning, Bruce sees an unmounted police horse as he walks through the dust cloud. This could just be a visual to reinforce the chaos and confusion, but we'd like to think of it as a nod to the iconic scene where Batman rides a horse into battle. Finally, both the comic and the movie end with a death and a surprise heartbeat. But in the comic, it's Batman who dies, and in the movie, it's Superman. You have to listen real hard, but you can make out a heartbeat right before the credits hit. Those are the coolest things we found in Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. For a full list of everything we found, check out our BVS wiki, and for all your DC needs, keep it right here at IGN.